Hello, I'm Zamo, and over the past year I've been working on a photography project that's taken me to the same park a few times. Why? Let's go on a trip. I'll explain on the way. See, the past few years have been frankly kind of shit for me. Started out my career with a stumble, and now all the jobs have evaporated before my eyes, so I'm working a factory job that barely covers my bills. It also makes it hard for me to hang out with friends, as we're on a rotating schedule that is updated weekly, so I can't really plan too much around it. So now I'm stuck at my parents' house trying to hang out with friends online whenever I can. Meanwhile, being a trans girl at the moment, and one that isn't particularly passing, with the facial hair and the voice, it's kind of stressful right now. It's scary enough as it is that there's a Wikipedia article about how parts of the government really don't like me right now. I think it becomes even more terrifying knowing that Wikipedia article links to other, more specific articles about how they don't like me. So to stop me embracing the void like Mario and Sonic or homophobes in Grindr, I've been looking more into creating things. Hell, that's a massive part as to why I started creating videos here. And while projects come in and out, I always notice that in between projects there's a period where it feels like I'm diving into another storm, even if I know what's up next. I needed something that would keep me around for a while, and something that would show that time can bring change. And there's been a few neon signs pointing as to what that project could be. Like, back in high school, I started getting into photography, and I maintained that hobby up to this day. And in the time I've developed this hobby, I've noticed I'm pulled in by these deep juxtapositions. It's the same reason I'm drawn into the Californication artwork, or why I feel lucky to have captured this photo back at my college. And I think there's a natural evolution to this type of art. I recall seeing some set of photos on God knows what social site of a Devil's Bridge out in Germany. I liked what I saw well enough at the time, but looking back at it, this feels set up for something. So I started planning. What if I went to this park once a month, went to the same spots in the park, and took the same photo again and again, and merged it all together at the end? The project would take about a year, and as a bonus, I get to touch some grass. Been meaning to do that for a while. And I'll have to pay extra attention to what grass I'm touching when I'm taking those pictures too. I already have to put some effort into combining these. I don't want to make it more difficult than it has to be. That said, the burden doesn't have to be all in looking at that sweet, touchable grass and guessing which blade sat under my foot on a certain day. If I pick spots that are reasonably easy to remember, intersections, notable cracks in the pavement, dead Alberta, I could get pretty close. Then my phone logs the location in the metadata of the photo, so it would get me close enough. Make sure I'm at dead Alberta and not dead Jerry. Oh shit, he's not dead. As for getting the same perspective, I can set my shots up to be as repeatable as possible. My phone's camera has a built-in level, meaning I don't have to guess whether or not I'm off kilter. There's also overlays for grids that I can add as I'm taking the photos. I can place landmarks on those grid lines to make sure I'm actually lining up these shots pretty well. This also has the added benefit of giving my photos a little bit more structure behind them. And so I started running the plan, and immediately messed it up. You see, I originally mentioned I was going to run it every month, but I forgot to run the second one. I ended up running every other month. Sure, it's a little bit of a hassle, but it still keeps the spirit of the plan going, It still keeps the original intent. The only real problem started showing up around fall. You see, I was coming in every other month, taking my photos and leaving. And that got the results I was looking for the most part. But not for fall. Because I was looking for the fall colors, the yellow and red leaves all over the ground. And I just wasn't getting it at this park. Hell, it wasn't even just this park. It was just the areas of the park I was visiting. There were trees in this park that were redder than the shirts at Karl Marx and Spencer's, and I just wasn't getting them. This park had me coming in every other week instead of every other month.
And during one of those trips, my car battery died. I ended up spending 3 hours here instead of 30 minutes like I was expecting. Was it this project's fault? No, the battery was old. It came with the car and I've had it for 4 years, so it was bound to happen. But I was so exhausted by this project. But finally, I ended up getting all of the photos.
Now I have all the photos, meaning I just have to combine them. Just. You see, even with all the tricks I laid out earlier, it's still a little bit of a gamble as to how close the photos are to each other. Most of the ones I've taken can be laid over each other pretty easily, but there are a few that need some grafting to get together. There are also some clear signs of me trying to rush through taking some of these. I'm still a little miffed at myself for having one set where I started at portrait, shot in portrait for several sessions, then forgot and went to landscape mode for one of my fall shoots. While this was a dumb mistake on its own, it also bled into another dumb mistake of relying on the most recent photos as the source of truth. This led to the following shots also being shot in landscape mode, like some visual game of telephone. This is why master copies are made.
So despite all of this, all the changes I had to make, all the issues I've come across, I still got some usable photos out of all this. Initially I just combined them with a hard line down the center, and there's something to this method that I like. It's mostly that it's quick. It doesn't look particularly good. It looks like you tried making a peanut butter jelly sandwich with like one side peanut butter, one side jelly, and then you combine them with the spreads outside. Can you tell my dad doesn't understand Uncrustables? And so I figured, if making the hard line in between the photos wasn't getting the results that I was looking for, maybe adding a little bit of a blur would help a little bit. And certainly it looks better. Hell, for some of the photos it's actually the preferred method, but like, it still feels a little hacky to me. I feel like I have to do something more to combine them, you know? Alright, so what would allow us to combine these photos in a way that seems somewhat natural? Well, you know how I brought up putting anchor points on those guidelines, right? Why don't we just use those? Most of the guideline anchors that we're using are trees that reach out of frame, so we can just hide our crimes behind those. And anything else, we can just hide behind weather.
So after putting in some active effort into merging these photos, we get this. This finally feels like something I can call finished. Sure, the seams are still there for all to see. I still think the border where the snow meets the paths and grass look a little ass. It's something to build on. Still, this checks most of the boxes for what I want to do here. I think it looks natural enough to not come off as though it were done on the budget of a toast sandwich.
Come on, I had that peanut butter and jelly from earlier. I had to wash down that disappointment somehow.
As I chew on my toast sandwich, I think I have a final picture that I'm satisfied with. There's still more photos I can merge together, but overall I think I reached the logical endpoint for what I wanted from this project.
Guys, I have great news! I have great... Oh, you poor bitch. Couldn't even keep your hat on. Oh, hello! I'm the stronger Zamo, apparently. And what she was trying to tell you is that we're pulling the Muppets, baby!
You kidnapped Jack Black?
That's right! We're... Kermit, you realize there's a police station just down there. I have a warrant out, you can't just be saying that. We're pulling a sequel! Holy shit, there. Shut up, weakling!
That's right, I'm doing it again. As happy as I am with this set, it's definitely just a start in terms of possibilities here. There's at least a few more styles of merging that I want to try, but I need different shots to justify doing those merges with. So now I'm hitting a different park and I'm getting a greater number of shots. I probably won't make another video on it, as I feel like it's mostly gonna be a retread of what's in this one, but I'm not ruling out entirely. Well, thanks for coming on this journey with me. If you liked what you saw, you can drop a like on this video. If you want to see more projects that I'm working on in the future, you can subscribe to the channel. And if you have any ideas as to how you would use this merging technique in your works, I'd love to hear them in the comments. Catch y'all on the next one. But seriously, get out of my house.